Coming up on Over a Barrel, 'tis the season. Thanksgiving is coming up next week, one of the busiest driving times of the entire year. We've got gas prices, we know what's happening, and Patrick DeHaan is getting ready to tell you exactly what you can expect. It starts right now on Over a Barrel. Welcome to the show. I'm your co-host, Matt McClain. He's Patrick DeHaan. Thanks so much for joining us. I don't have any gobbling sound effects, Patrick, but you know, it's Thanksgiving. That's a weekend before Thanksgiving. We got so much stuff to talk about. This is like the busiest travel time, one of the busiest in the whole year. And I assume that means a lot of gasoline is going to be going into people's tanks. Yes, and jet airliner
I love that
tanks.
you started off on that point. That's perfect because there's always this suspicion that because it's busy, gas prices go up. So, couple things we can clarify there. Absolutely, it's going to be crazy busy, Matt, this holiday. In fact, looking at the Gas Buddy survey here, 72% of Americans told us they were going to be hitting the road. So, if you're hitting the road, you're going to want to pack a little bit of patience alongside. A lot of us are hitting the road Wednesday, Matt. I don't know about you, but I think they said Tuesday is going to be like a travel Tuesday for air traffic. The
Yup.
TSA said expect record setting crowds at the airport. So, focused on what we said though, 72%, that's a lot of people, Matt. What about you? Are you hitting the road?
Yes, sir. I am on Thanksgiving Day, no less. I'll be traveling about 4 hours each way, and I'll be going through 3 states to do it. So, yes, I am also, I've got my travel plans as well.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of folks out there. And the good news, Matt, is, it's the cheapest Thanksgiving to hit the road since the pandemic. I mean, we've got a graphic. If you're following along with us on YouTube, we always have video so you can check out what we're talking about. We also appreciate those that tune in via Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But yeah,
Absolutely.
Matt, 2024, we're projecting that the national average this Thanksgiving 2.98 a gallon. That would be the first time it's below $3 since the height of the pandemic when a lot of folks were being urged to stay home. And a lot of us were doing just that. And we've come a long way. I mean, even a couple of years ago, Matt, on Thanksgiving, it was 3.56 a gallon. Last Thanksgiving, 3.25, 2.98 this year. And again, those keeping track, Matt, here we are, 3.04 a gallon. So we're anticipating a little bit more of a decline between now and next week. We like to see this blue color. Look at that. Prices
Mhm.
down from yesterday, from last week, from a month ago, and from a year ago. So get out there, hit the road. It's a beautiful time, except if you're in California where you're stuck at $4.40. Sorry, California, as you're getting hit with that torrential downpour. Unfortunately, all that's falling is rain, not gas prices. Although, even California, Matt, they're down about 3 cents from last
Look at
week.
that. Yeah.
So all in all, I mean, you look at it, it's not too bad of a time to hit the road. Again, there's some good lessons to be had here. By the way, let's zoom in on our key findings. Um, a lot of folks planning to fly this Thanksgiving, man. I don't know
Mhm.
about you, but like I said, the TSA is expecting record-setting travel. I can only imagine how many people are going to be in the security lines at O'Hare this holiday season.
Oh my
So
goodness. Or
pack your ba
Atlanta or any other
yeah, all
major
the hub.
Hub in America. Yeah, I have actually gone through Atlanta multiple times, the world's busiest airport during Thanksgiving and Christmas. And let me tell you,
Ooh,
God bless anybody who's inside that airport during that time frame because wow, that's all I've got to say. Wow.
quite literally
It's
pack your patience. I mean, Atlanta, there's like one massive security checkpoint. The beauty about O'Hare, I've
yep.
never had a problem. Like 5 minutes. I mean, Thanksgiving, it'll probably be like 12 minutes, but it's never been problematic. Interestingly enough, Matt, that was one of the reasons why people wanted to take their car this year because the combination of low gas prices plus not having to wait in line, not having to align to a airline schedule. And keep in mind, how often is weather a problem for Thanksgiving? I mean, as we sit here, the snow flurries are flying in an abundance of northern states. there's always the potential of weather. And I think, what was it last year? There was like a potential air traffic controller strike that was,
Oh
the
yeah.
Congress was congressional shutdown. So
Seems like it was that and some snowstorm in some part of the country. I
isn't
think
there
it
always
was
a
something.
snowstorm somewhere on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving? And it's like
Yep. There is.
always one of the hubs, if not Chicago, it's like the Northeast.
So the thing that kind of sings to me, I see a headline here in Gas Buddy that says that the price cycles in the Midwest have delayed the 299
Yeah.
national average. I'm in the Midwest. Talk to me. What is going on here and why?
Well, yeah, let's load up the biggest movers here, Matt. Every time we get close to that doggone 299 mark, somebody comes in and ruins it for us. Now, Michigan and Indiana, they saw price cycles that moving down, but Delaware is also an area that has started to price cycle. They're up 8 cents from last week. And if we move down here, Ohio's up 4.5 cents. They did see a little bit of a mini spike. Maryland is price a market that price cycles. Where's Texas on here? Some of these price cycles have started to fade away. Yeah, Texas is virtually flat compared to last week. So we're starting to gain some distance away from these price cycles, but there's more and more markets that do this price cycling. What is a price cycle, you may ask? Let's load up an area that does price cycle, and let's show you what that exact. This is what it looks like. And by the way, for comparison, the national average, there you go. So this
Wow.
constant up, down, up, down, up, down is what we're referring to here, Matt, with price cycling. It gets really old after a while, but basically you have like it's cities and states, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Illinois, Florida, Texas, even areas like Missouri have this. And what
It's
happens is when
spread.
prices get
Kentucky,
so
Missouri, and other
low.
places didn't used to be that way. That's the
Well,
part,
Missouri
it's
did, but it's only like St. Louis, not really the rest of the state, and Louisville and Lexington and Kentucky, but not really the rest of the state.
in Western where I'm at, it does religiously as well. I'm gonna
Okay,
be
so
honest with
Paducah is also a
you.
market that cycles, but so usually these cycles happen every in the fall, every 10 to I would say 17 days, where stations essentially are undercutting each other. They start losing money and then they'll jack prices up to where they should have been. And if I go back to this biggest mover here and back to last week, see these price cycling markets, when they don't shoot up, they go down, and they're the biggest decliners of any area right now. Michigan's down 12 cents from last week. Indiana's down 12 cents from last week. Colorado is an area that price cycles too, specifically Denver. They're down 10 cents from last week. So these are the markets that are leaders to the downside until they have cut too much, and that's when prices quickly jump up.
I tell you, yeah. I mean, if it ends up saving the consumer money, I suppose, I guess it's a good thing. But it's still at that moment, and I made the comment last night. I was driving, and I had someone in the vehicle with me, and I said, "Man, I am so glad I filled up 2 days ago when it was 2.46 a gallon because now it's 2.86 at the same exact station." And so I'm like, dang it, you know. But I managed to catch it on the good swing this time. Sometimes I've managed to say, well, I'll wait and fill up tomorrow. And then tomorrow
Oh,
it goes from 246 to 286. And then it's like, you know? So, I mean, it's good when it's good. It's frustrating when it's frustrating. What's your prediction for Thanksgiving? Do you think some of this price cycling, I mean, do you think, do you really think that they're gonna like play nice and everybody's gonna be cool and we're gonna be on the low part of that price cycle for
well,
Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving Eve, or do you think that we'll be, you know what I'm saying? I mean, do you think they're
well,
gonna move that
here's the
cycle up or
problem,
down?
Matt, is that earlier this week, let me load this up too, and we'll share it with our audience. Earlier this week, as always tends, people are going to put their tinfoil hats on and be like, "Oh, what a shock!" This headline here, let's load it up, and then we'll of course lead to mass disappointment. Hold on, where's this tab hiding? There it is. Okay, perfect timing. BP's Whiting, Indiana refinery delays restart. What happened was two units experienced issues as they were restarting. Surprise, surprise, refinery snags, Matt. And the wholesale price of gasoline in the Great Lakes, it's actually down a couple cents today, but it was up 20 cents a gallon from a little over a week ago. So, again, BP issued an alert on Monday about flaring. Flaring is what happens. It's a negative side effect. Flaring is what happens when you lose control of the restart process or something goes wrong. Let's think of it the blue screen of death, Matt. The refinery has a computer that goes down, they lose control of the process, and what they have to do then is release the pressure. And refineries release that pressure by essentially lighting the flare tower, burning off the excess pressure. And that's indicative of something negative happening at the refinery. So that's what happened to BP. Of course, as soon as flaring happens, markets, trade sources know that there's not as much
Mhm.
gasoline. And that's what causes the wholesale price to go up. So, to answer your question, will there be price cycling? Well, there might be because the wholesale price of gasoline did jump up
Mhm.
related to this refinery outage. It hasn't happened yet, which is the good news. We haven't seen a huge price increase yet through the Great Lakes, but it could still happen. Maybe not so large of an increase anymore, but if you're in areas like Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Wisconsin, maybe down to Kentucky, you could see prices move modestly higher very soon or early next week. If you're in Florida, I think you'll probably see prices cycle early next week as well. But for most areas that don't cycle, they'll see prices kind of stabilize.
I'm not going to try to put some stuffing in the bird here. I had to say it. I was trying to figure out a way to segue into it, right? No, I am actually very curious, though. We are, and I'm just going to bring it up very lightly, if you will, but
Oh, lovely.
we're seeing a lot of geopolitical stuff across the globe. That a
I'll
lot
pull
of
the headline up for you that I had.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of referring to, and Putin bringing out the nuclear word again, and a whole bunch of stuff.
Yep.
It's really creating a lot of unsettled nerves, understandably. Is that, I mean, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
the answer is probably yes, but I'm assuming there's some potential there for some some problems with pricing of oil and other aspects. I mean, there, you instill fear in people, and people always kind of, try to, they react. So I
Well,
mean,
they
what are your
do.
thoughts on all of this?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Matt, you saw the headline there. Those that didn't see it on my screen, it was, there's obviously been escalations. The U.S. approved long range missile use by Ukraine, and Ukraine promptly launched long range missiles into Russia. And then Russia edited its nuclear doctrine. Here I have a graph of oil prices, Matt. Take a guess on where that happened, where Russia decided to adjust its nuclear doctrine. It was right here. Oil was down about $67 a barrel. And then Monday, it shot up to about
Hmm.
$69 a barrel. And since then, it's held a higher range. So,
Yeah.
absolutely, geopolitical tensions are definitely having an impact. Russia watching the escalations there, that could be problematic. The national average is trying so hard to get below $3 a gallon, and everything in the world is trying to align not to let it happen.
Literally,
Like, we've
literally in the
literally been
world.
at 304 a gallon for, like, the last, call it, week or so. I mean, last week on this day, it was 307, so we're a couple cents lower. It's trying so hard, but it's like all this stuff, this refinery outage in the middle, in the Great Lakes states, and then the Middle East tensions, and then Russia tensions. It's like, can we just get a break to let this happen just ahead of
Mhm.
Thanksgiving?
Please.
And by the way, I mean, I should be pretty happy because we predicted the Thanksgiving average would be right in the ballpark of 299 to 327. So, we didn't predict it for Veterans Day. We predicted a little higher, but we said by Thanksgiving the low side would be 299 and the high side would be 327. We're at 304. So, I'm still hoping it'll happen, Matt, but
What do you think the odds are? I mean, you're the gas buddy guy, right? You've
oh
been doing this
goodness.
for a minute. I'm going to put
Well,
you on the spot.
I feel like the boy that's cried wolf because the last couple weeks everything has been there for it to happen. And I posted on X, it's days away, it's days away.
Yup.
And then President Biden says, "Yeah, Ukraine, you can use long-range missiles." And it's like, "Oh, no, well, that's not going to happen now." And then
And landmines
refinery
and
outage. Yeah, and then price cycling. So We just need to catch a little bit of a window, a little bit of peace and quiet, and I think it's still going to happen. Is it going to happen by Thanksgiving? I hope so.
I sure hope so too. For everyone's sake, uh, we could use a very peaceful Thanksgiving, right? We could all use it. We could all just sit back,
It's
relax.
going to be a really peaceful Thanksgiving, by the way, watching the Lions
Yeah.
decimate the Bears. So I'm just going to
Oh,
say it. The Lions look really good this year. I mean, come on. Lions fans have been waiting like decades for this, and so have Bears fans, by the way. But the Bears,
the
I
Bears.
I live in Chicago, man. It's depressing, but at least we have one perennially bad
Yeah.
team that has finally seemingly moved out of that. So, well, back to gas prices. We don't need to talk much more.
I was going to say, out of an interesting concept. Surprise, surprise. As of the time of this taping, there's a lot of snow falling on the ground in portions of the country, including Chicago, all the way into the upper South. You're talking
My
Tennessee
dog
and
is looking and
Kentucky.
my dog is watching it snow outside because he's
Yeah.
like, I would like to be anywhere but here. Now he's gonna go inspect the rest of the office. So
I was going to say, I'm kind of disappointed you don't have a snow cam that's showing a live feed outside your window.
you know, and that brings me to the next thing I was going to say, Matt, because I've gotten this question a lot this week, and I think conventional wisdom would tell you something completely different. And you mentioned it. Obviously, the Gas Buddy survey said, 72% of Americans are going to be traveling this holiday weekend, and people are saying, well, shouldn't gas go up? Because so many people are traveling. But if you whittle it down, Matt, the real conventional wisdom may be that demand is higher for Thanksgiving, but it's actually not. Here's why. Because Wednesday, we're all driving. Apparently, 7 out of 10 of us are driving to our destination. Most of us are leaving Wednesday, right, to get there for Thursday. So millions of Americans are going to be on the road Wednesday, but what are they doing Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Now, some go out for Black Friday deals, which I don't know about you, but Black Friday deals haven't been good. It feels like in like 15 years.
Yeah, yeah, no,
There
you're
haven't there
exactly
haven't
right.
been as many of the loss leaders. When's the last time a fight broke out? At getting the cheap the cheap big screen TVs. I haven't seen that in a while.
Oh, listen, when I used to work in broadcasting and they would send me out at like 3 or 4 in the morning to cover live, it's no understatement to say, like when you see a sitcom or a comedy where they're like the front doors to a store are like bulging
Boom.
and breathing in and out, and there's people waiting on the other side of the glass.
It had
I've
to be some
actually
really good people watching though.
Oh, no, it was terrifying because let me tell you, they wanted the deals, and it didn't matter if you had a microphone in your hand or not. They were going to mow you down to get to whatever was on their list. And I'm telling you, I mean, the stories I've got, I could write a book and they would be thrown in the fiction
Do it.
section, and it's not. I mean, it's just not, right? So, I mean, I have seen that, and you're right. Nowadays, it's more like a Black Friday online. There are
Cyber
some,
Monday.
yeah, Cyber
No more
Monday.
Black Eye Friday, right? Or
You're
Blue Eye
right.
Friday. Now it's take it online, and
Camping out around electronic stores overnight or for
I
like
mean, what
3
sounds better,
days.
camping out in the cold or being in my office where I can be nice and warm, and we can have a
Depends on the
podcast, and I can,
person.
who all knows? Maybe you're shopping right now online looking
Right.
for those Black Friday deals and the Cyber Monday deals. But that's the amazing thing is, so because most of us park for a couple of days, gasoline demand is super high Wednesday, right? Gas Buddy data shows gasoline demand jumps on Tuesday through Wednesday, but it plummets Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then maybe a little bit of an increase Sunday. But Matt, if you take Sunday through Saturday, which is our measuring period for Gas Buddy data, if you look at the week of Thanksgiving and compare it to the week prior, demand for gasoline is lower the week of Thanksgiving, and it's going to be even lower for
Really?
Christmas. So, conventional wisdom,
Hmm.
you have all these reports of millions of Americans, right? 70 million Americans driving to their destination. It's like, okay, so how can gasoline demand be lower? Well, because we're all on the interstate at the same time. So it seems really busy, but then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and most of Sunday we're parked.
It's a
So
nothing burger. I
I
gotcha.
mean,
Okay.
in the
It's like a big
totality,
surge. Yeah, it's
yeah,
like a big surge and then nothing.
It's like everyone turns on the Lions game and then we go back to eating. I don't know. It's kind of like the Super Bowl surge in toilet use between the first and second quarter.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, are people going to the bathroom more, or are we just all doing it at the same time?
Very true. You have a valid point, sir. You do. You do. I had never really considered. I would. What about jet fuel? I mean, same thing,
Well,
or
I
is
mean,
it?
that's a whole different dynamic. Jet fuel is more, that's kind of efficiencies of airlines. But okay, so here's an interesting point. The TSA has forecast, as I mentioned, record-setting Thanksgiving travel. Um, right? I was looking for that quick news article. Okay, here we go. TSA predicting busiest air travel weekend ever over Thanksgiving, but that doesn't necessarily translate to record jet fuel demand. Why? Because a lot of airlines, get rid of this, because a lot of airlines, Matt, have gotten rid of their fuel inefficient aircraft, right, during COVID. They put them all goodbye. And so airlines are more efficient. They have fewer older gas guzzling planes. They've increased capacity, and so it's kind of like a transition mat from carbon fiber, or I should say, from aluminum hulled aircraft to something much
Mhm.
lighter, much more fuel efficient. These engines are much more fuel efficient as well. The TSA expects 3 million passengers on November 27 for one. So it's going to be busy, but jet fuel demand's not going to be at record levels. And keep in mind, a lot of these flights, Matt, that are going to be for Thanksgiving, the international number of flights internationally declines because people travel more domestically. So, the airlines are not going to be running their overseas flights at the same frequency during holidays because people in the US like to stay here. So, jet fuel demand is going to be high, but it's not going to be record setting.
That is so interesting. Gotta hand it to you. I really would have figured that the refineries would have been saying, okay, boys, we got to get every drop out of the, that we can. All right, let's get this out to the gas stations. Move, move, move. That's where my mind would have been. Like, we've got a
Yeah.
lot of fuel to supply. But in all reality, as with most things in life, it's about the details of the
Well,
situation
and
instead of the assumption.
right, and there's a measure for that. What you're referring to about refineries, we've talked about it briefly before, but the crack spread is the measure to take oil and how much profit there is by turning it into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel. And I have a graphic here that shows you right now. As we put the graphic up here, here's this: the 3-2-1 crack spread is the traditional crack spread. It's basically cracking a barrel of oil into 3 parts gasoline, 2 parts jet fuel. And if you look at the crack spread, Matt, here, look at the date. During the summer and the spring, it definitely is higher. And even last year, it was much higher. But now look what happened here back in September. The crack spread was extremely low. It's still quite a bit lower. So essentially, what Matt this is telling us is refineries are not as incentivized to run as much oil through their refineries because it's not as profitable. Why is it not as profitable? Because the economy slowed down. Jet fuel demand is lower. There's been a bit of a diesel drop in demand because of semi trucks and freight rates are declining, and because gasoline demand declines in colder weather. AKA, are people going out and putting their boat in the lake? Are they traveling Route 66 in the middle of winter? No. So there's a lot lower demand across the board in winter
Hmm.
than summer.
I'm telling you the details. I am still amazed at the difference of assumption versus reality in so many things like this. And I've done things in the news media since what, the late 1990s, and so
Long
this is
time,
so,
yeah.
yeah,
And
a
you
long
know,
time.
like you hear this year in and year out is, and the assumption is like reporters or, they may come to me and say, "Hey, 70 million people are traveling." That I mean, your logical conclusion is that's a lot of people, that's a lot of
Yup.
demand. But people don't think about 70 million people parking then for 3 days, no
Whereas they normally
school,
wouldn't. Yeah.
no work. Everyone's with friends and family. Some people don't even travel, by the way. In our poll, I mean, think of it. If you're having people over, you're not traveling. People are traveling to you. So, all in all, Matt, Thanksgiving and other holidays, fall and winter holidays are not well traveled because when you get to somebody's house, you stay inside. You don't go outside. You don't hike. You don't go barbecue. You don't put the boat in the lake. You don't run the jet skis. You don't go motorcycling in the middle of winter. So, summer holidays are a little different. Yeah, you go to the lake, you run the boat, you run the jet skis, you go motorcycling. So, summer holidays, there's more demand. But winter holidays, it's overstated. So, next time you hear gasoline demand skyrockets for winter holiday, take it with a grain of salt and realize that, like you, I'm probably going to be in a little bit of a coma on Thursday. you know,
Yeah, I'm
Food
traveling on
coma.
Thursday. And then coming back where I'm sitting right now on Thursday evening.
Are you going to
And
Missouri, you low gas price guy?
I might
You
be.
always travel to low gas price states. It's
Uh,
fascinating.
Duh, right? I mean, why would I go to a high
Yeah,
gas price
you
state?
skirt Illinois, skirt the high gas prices. Love it.
Yeah, I definitely don't. I go through Illinois, but I definitely make sure that my tank is topped off before going through. And
I
then if
mean,
I
I
need
mean,
more
when
fuel,
Illinois
I
is
refuel in Missouri.
red, Illinois is what? That's a big difference. That's all, 36 cents a gallon more in Illinois.
What's Missouri? Help me. Oh,
Cheap. It's
even
cheap.
better. All right, that's
By,
good
by the
news.
way, by the way, let's throw out some names here. Who's doing well? Hawaii is not doing well. California aren't.
They never do well.
Let's talk about the oh my goodness gracious. Look at the cheapest cities in the
Wow.
nation. Lawton, Oklahoma, the average, and these are averages. The average price for a gallon of gasoline today in Lawton, Oklahoma, 232. Oklahoma City, 238. And if I go to Oklahoma City gas prices, which is a Gas Buddy website, um, oh my goodness gracious. These are the good times. I mean, Matt, you're getting close to your beloved $1.99 gas.
Yeah, I
Look at the name
feel
of this gas station. Oh, you stop. Oh, I will stop.
Yeah, I feel warmth in my heart for the first time instead of a lump of coal in years. That looks amazing. Yeah, maybe I should travel to Oklahoma for
I
Thanksgiving. That
mean,
sounds a
Murphy USA 221, Walmart 221. And Matt,
Yeah.
I wonder what this would look like if you do pay with Gas Buddy. It's probably even lower. By the
Oh,
way,
I hadn't
I'm going to
thought
look
about
that up in
that.
my Gas Buddy app. So, by the way, if you're looking at the Gas Buddy website, you see these prices. You can access potentially lower gas prices by using the Gas Buddy app. And look at
That's
that.
pretty
Yep, sure
cool.
enough. I typed in Oklahoma City, Matt, into my Gas Buddy app, and I see some of the 221s, but 203, 204, 212,
Oh,
$1.99.
oh, okay, okay. I'm going to Oklahoma. I'll just drive right on down I-44.
Let's see
That's what I'm
here.
gonna do.
Oklahoma City. I mean, I wish I could show you. I don't know if it's going to show up, but look at those. Yeah, see, look at those. Oh, it's not going to show you.
It's not gonna show up.
There you
There
go.
it
Look at
goes.
that.
Oh,
Save up to
yep.
27 cents.
I
So
love it. I love
make
it.
sure to check the Gas Buddy app because there's going to be lower prices in the app. And, there are retailers that work with Gas Buddy to provide extra discounts. So if you're tuning in, if you're driving, make sure to fire up the Gas Buddy app, especially if you get to like a half a tank or a quarter tank. Find those $1.90. Well, if you're in Oklahoma. Matt, how far are you traveling? You going to go bring your tanker to Oklahoma City?
Don't tempt me, sir. I am not above it. I really am not, and I'll bring
You
it
are not
right on
beneath
back
it.
and well, that that's true too. It's a valid
Hopefully,
point.
you're not beneath the tanker. That would hurt.
All right. Well, I tell you what. So next week, this is where you think prices are going. You see stuff moving around. There's some goodness there.
Yeah.
The following for the month of December, because I mean, obviously, the week after Thanksgiving will be into the month of December, the last month of the year. Can you imagine? It's this year has flown by so crazy, and just it's crazy all the way around. But what do
Yeah.
you think for the final coming weeks of the year? Do you think that we are going to be seeing prices? Now, I understand. I'm not going to hold you to some aspects, the geopolitical stuff,
Well,
right? That's not fair. That's not fair for anybody to look at you and say, you have to know, Patrick, what everybody and all the world leaders are going to do over the next 6 weeks. But let's say
would you also
nothing
like to ask
changes.
tomorrow's
Yeah,
lotto numbers?
right. Yeah, right. Let's just say nothing changes from the present situation that we find ourselves in. Nothing gets worse, nothing gets better. So that gives you a fighting chance to be semi-accurate there going forward. What
All
do you
right. Well,
see?
I
What do you see
appreciate
between
that
now
you're
and
not going to
Christmas?
tie me to it.
That's not fair. I mean, I can't do that. That would
Well,
be mean.
I can't tell you what's going to happen with Russia and Ukraine if that's going to continue escalating, Matt. But I think best bets are traditionally, if any past year is history, if we use that, traditionally gas prices do bottom out between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So you'll probably see a bottom out. That doesn't mean prices are just going to skyrocket. We should see some of these seasonal lows. If you're below $3 a gallon, there's a good chance that you'll probably be seeing still a couple stations below $3, maybe through the end of the year. I know that usually in areas like the Midwest, the Corn Belt, and the Great Lakes states, they usually get a second run at very low prices before the seasonal switch to summer gas happens, and that could be January, February. So if you're in the coastal regions, basically not the middle of the country, California, Gulf Coast, East Coast, you're probably within 30 to 40 days of seeing the best prices if you aren't already. Right? The window's closing if you're in the coastal region. If you're in the middle of the country, if you're landlocked like the Corn Belt, the Rockies, and the Great Lakes, your best prices still may be, another 60 days away. So most areas, we should see limited increases. We should see more decreases than increases over the next month between now and Christmas. So don't expect a huge, massive jump, Matt, but it'd be unusual to see prices going up considerably between now and Christmas.
It would probably potentially take, I'm assuming, one of those geopolitical things to somewhat spiral. Would
It
that be
could.
inaccurate?
It could. And if it happens, we'll be sure to
Oh
let
yeah.
folks know on the podcast, and on social media channels. If you follow the show, you can follow us on X, Over a Barrel Show. We'll keep you updated, or you can follow me, Gas Buddy Guy, on X or Blue
Over a barrel,
Sky
Matt.
or Threads or TikTok or whatever social platform. We'll keep you all updated. But Matt, I think most people should see a pretty low period of prices between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
It's fantastic. I hope I hope that's what happens. I really genuinely do. I'm eating turkey on Thursday, then I'm cooking a turkey on Friday. I'm gonna smoke the turkey on Friday. That's gonna be fun.
I'm gonna
Uh,
have some bourbon, I think, on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving and just relax and enjoy
yeah.
things. So,
Yeah.
but
I'd
for
make even
anyone
more
else
promises.
traveling,
Yeah.
make sure to pack that Gas Buddy app with you. Like I said, you may find some
And the
extra
card.
special deals. Absolutely, the Pay with Gas Buddy card as
Yep.
well. By the way, we have some exciting new improvements coming to the Gas Buddy app that we can talk about down the road, Matt. But our team has been very busy. And again, looking forward to that. So again, if anyone has questions, comments, I know there were a couple comments we didn't get to, including one on everything that can be derived from crude oil. We'll have to hit on that in a future episode. But we are seeing your emails. Throw us an email to podcast@gasbuddy.com. We appreciate you listening, liking, and follow us. Matt, I don't know about you, but you're going to have plenty of turkey next week, right? So
Absolutely. Too much, probably. Too much.
you won't be the only one.
Well, listen, that's going to wrap up this edition of Over a Barrel, kind of almost a holiday edition. It'll be fun.
That's right.
We'll keep you up to date. We'll let you know anything crazy that happens, if it happens. Hopefully, it won't happen. We can all just enjoy Turkey Day and the parades and all of that stuff. It'll be great. We need a good, peaceful holiday in our country, and I'm thankful. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everybody's going to get one, and hopefully everything will just kind of just be a nice status quo. We can enjoy the turkey coma that comes with it. It'll be fantastic.
Enjoy the low gas prices too. Again, because
Absolutely.
in 2020, we said the lowest gas prices since 2020. That's not really a year we'd like to go back to, right in the middle of the pandemic. So when you think about it, really kind of the best alignment, low gas prices and the ability to see loved ones and family for Thanksgiving. So it's been about 5 years. So go enjoy yourselves. Safe travel, pack your Gas Buddy app. We'll see you right next time here on the Over a Barrel podcast. But for Matt and I, so long. See you next time.